Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching Gossip Girl, Season 1, Episode 15.
Desperately Seeking Serena.
It's a good one. I've never seen that movie, but...
A really long time ago I saw it. Just once, though.
It's... Who else is it? I know it's Madonna, but is it an Arquette, maybe?
I think it's Rosanna.
Rosanna.
Yeah.
So, it's finally here. The introduction to one of the most famous and anticipated Gossip Girl characters.
Georgina Sparks.
Nelly Yuki.
Oh. Also, yes.
She's finally in play.
But I was talking about Georgina Sparks. We only like Nelly Yuki because of that one Jacob Clifton review. I mean, she's great. Her name is Yin Chang. She's great. She's super cute. I love the whole thing. But like,
I forgot.
This isn't even the episode that recap's about.
I forgot how. So, okay. This episode I actually think is kind of poorly written. I didn't.
Wait, tell me why.
Well, everyone is psycho. Like everybody. And it's the Georgina stuff. We need it for plot reasons. We need it to be prolonged. But like Blair is completely like after like wants to ruin Nelly Yuki's life. Because
Nelly Yuki also wants to go to Yale. And apparently there is only one. She also, it's not even like an unwritten rule. She just is like, how many girls from Constance do you think Yale is going to take? And I was like, statistically, many. Yeah,
Jenny is still being bleh, and she meets this boy, and Rufus is being, I mean, understandably so, but bleh.
Yeah, but like I said out there,
Dan
you're trying to be a dad now all of a sudden?
Dan is bleh.
Yeah.
The Georgina and Serena's a dummy. Georgina is comically evil.
Yeah.
Nate is going out with Vanessa unhinged. None of it holds up.
Okay. So here's what I'll say. I think Nate's behavior is the most okay.
This
like
is
in a vacuum, Nate's behavior is the best behavior in this episode because he is being so thoughtful and so emotionally open.
Well, so I feel like it's the first time that they actually were writing for Chase and not just trying to shove that square peg in that round hole. Which ironically is Nate's tactic.
Well, because in my opinion, Vanessa is the one that's unhinged during all of those interactions.
I just don't understand. So he brings them his study aids. Yeah. So he's being it's unnecessary and on top of that thoughtful.
Because he spoke to Dan and Dan was stressing so hard and he was like, "Oh, I could probably help."
Yeah. Vanessa condescends to him no less than 4 times in 60 seconds.
We don't need your hand-me-downs.
You're Nate, right? You play a very small but crucial role in my video project. We all love hearing about the struggles of the idle rich. Dan's got a fine tutor right here. I ace every practice test I take, so we don't need your hand-me-downs.
Thank you.
Is there a reason you insist on looking so desperate and needy? It's better than being a charity case.
She's rude, too.
It's like, get off your high horse. Again, like I said in the last episode, just because you're poor doesn't make you better than him.
Well, and then she violates his privacy by reading handwritten. I mean, it could have
been anything. That could have been like, because he admits later that he is in Brooklyn often because that's where his dad is in rehab. That could have been like this is how you ruined my life, dad kind of bullshit. Luckily, it was his SAT prep essay.
So then she invites him to like a date or whatever to apologize to him, but not before condescending to him again 2 more times.
Because the waitress knows him and she's like, "Oh, how do you know?" And he's like, "I come here sometimes."
Well, she's mad at him for being late.
Yeah.
Where she's like, I forget what she says, but she says something about how before he's even offered an explanation, she's like, "Well, you're late, so I don't even know why."
Daylight savings. She's like, "Daylight savings is in March. Didn't you remember?" So fucking stupid. And then he like knows the waitress and she's like, "What are you doing in Brooklyn all the time?" And it's like, you think
But it's like figures you would know her. Like,
and it's just like, you think Brooklyn is like the cat's pajamas and but Nate is not allowed. It's absolutely ridiculous. Vanessa.
So then she explains to him that she judged a book by its cover and that maybe because by invading his privacy, she's found out that there's more there than she assumed.
Hot, still waters run deep.
And you're right. It is it's definitely, it's more organic from Nate. It's definitely more like it makes enough sense.
I feel like, yeah, because Nate doesn't have all of the faculties to be like, you're being mean to me.
And so, yeah, Blair is on this weird warpath. It's not that it's out of character for Blair. I think its placement in Blair's story is wrong.
Sure.
She's barely back in standing, back in power. And she's on this like mission to take down this other person.
Yeah.
And it's played very comically. It's played very farcically. And it's like
she goes so far as to steal the batteries out of Nelly Yuki's graphing calculator.
For the SATs!
But again, because Rachel and I were talking about this, and it's like, all of these kids are acting like this is their one and only shot to take the SATs, and you can absolutely take them as many times as you feel like.
Well, Rachel didn't know, so maybe they don't know either.
You have to pay, but you can take it way more than once.
So yeah, it's a little strange. And so she has like a study
party.
Yeah, where there's massages and stuff, and she like invites Nelly's ex-boyfriend. It's like, ugh, it's a whole big thing.
It's a whole thing for sure.
Jenny is trying to secure herself. She's going for like prom queen or something. What is she going for?
Queen bee.
Oh, just in general.
Queen bee.
Oh, so it's like, even vaguer.
Yeah, 'cause she's like, well, what's the one thing that all the rest of them don't have? And she's like, a boyfriend. If I get a boyfriend, that'll secure it. And I'm like, you're making causation does not equal correlation.
Well, because she also has Elise. So Jenny's a freshman?
Yes.
So then Elise seems like she's 10 years old.
I think Elise might also be a freshman.
Yeah, well, yeah. Elise is where it's at, and Jenny does not learn that. Because she finds the cute guy who's hitting on her, and she's really judgmental because she thinks he's just a dog walker, and it's like, that's a valid strategy. I get it, although it's not working for you so far, Jenny.
She's like, I need a king, not a jester. And I'm like, if you get a king, you're not going to be the powerful one. You need a prince at best.
Well, and half of its attitude where it's like, we're in a position in 2008 where the world is sort of changing at this point. The groupthink and the mindless, like,
I get it.
All that stuff is on its way out. But it's like, if she just had, like, so what if her boyfriend is not rich? It's like, if she
still has a boyfriend.
Yeah,
even
and
Blair
it's like she could navigate it, or she could make it into a thing, and she just looks this gift horse in the mouth.
And then it also turns out that he is rich.
Maybe
and he is.
He is okay.
He goes to the school across the way. I think. Now I'm second guessing.
Well, I think mild spoiler alert, I think he's the gay one that ends up being gay. At one point she's dating a gay boy.
I think it might be him. I think you're right.
Because the boy is maybe dating Eric. But
Asher,
yeah, so he brings her a just grocery bag full of hot dogs. Real weird move. Yeah. Also, they did. I don't know if they just cut her hair, if it's as simple as that. But there was not a single scene that Jenny was in where my knee-jerk reaction wasn't, "Who the hell is that woman?" Like I thought it was some piece of Rufus's, but
Rufus doesn't have pieces.
Where do we?
The only thing left is Georgina.
Oh, well, so then we come to the bulk of the plot of the episode is Georgina is back in town. Yeah. She is Blair's like old Serena's old bad girlfriend.
Yeah.
And we find out later, I don't think it's the next episode. I actually think it's the episode after.
Okay.
We find out what happens. It's a decent enough reveal and a decent enough plot, but it is contrived the way we drag it out and the power that Georgina has over Serena.
It's also very one of those things where it's like, it's all my fault. And you hear the actual story and you're like, Serena, that's like 1% your fault.
It's like, well, that was something that happened at the same place you were. Yes. That is true. But
you're right.
It's very sort of because Georgina is diabolical and it's only working because Michelle Trachtenberg has 2 bottles of mustard and she's like, woo! Does somebody have any hot dogs?
Asher does. I love Michelle Trachtenberg. She's so young here because this is like the television year after Buffy ended. So
no.
2007.
You're a liar.
2008. April 2008.
When did Buffy end?
Oh, just kidding. 2003.
Okay, I was like, that is untrue.
That is my bad for sure. 4 years after Buffy ended. But still, like, comically young looking she is in this, and I just love it.
I think she looks great. I made a comment that I remembered not liking her hair when we were younger, and I don't. Good. Yeah, it's a gorgeous color, like especially for her skin because she is so like, fair,
deep and dark.
But it's like there's red in it. It's like very rich.
I knew I graduated something when Buffy went off the air, and it was high school. Not college.
Michelle Trachtenberg is one of those like Brittany Snow where she just sort of pops up here and there.
Yeah.
And after a few years pass, you're like, I think it's time for our like quarterly Michelle Trachtenberg.
I agree.
Yeah, so she's in town and she is just straight kidnapping
Looney Tunes.
Serena. Yeah, you're right, Looney Tunes. Like when they go into those like awful accents, because there's no way anybody's buying that.
Yeah.
But it's bizarre, and she tries to play it off at first where she's like, oh, those were just gag gifts. And I was like, gag cocaine.
That classic gag gift of real cocaine.
Real cocaine.
A real dime bag of cocaine.
Just for giggles. And so she deceives Serena, then she tries to play good. And I mentioned this like a couple episodes ago, but I was like, is Serena naive? And I feel like, I feel like she is canonically very naive at this point.
For real.
Because Georgina ends up just straight roofing her.
Oh, yeah. She puts straight up like GHB in her drink. Like liquid. It's not even like... It's like a vial of liquid.
Yeah, she misses SATs. And of course, like I said, the show does a fair enough because at this point, Serena's really only confiding in Chuck.
Yeah.
And he's doing what Serena needs, but he is being conspicuous as fuck with everyone else, especially Dan.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, I feel like in this moment, knowing he's the only one that knows and that Serena's not trying to tell anyone else, he's doing the best he can. And like, he's still making gross innuendos, but like these episodes are the turning point for Chuck.
It's at least
in
fun.
my opinion. Yeah.
And he is very wisdomous throughout this entire arc. He's very like, I got it. I know how to handle this.
We're good.
And because he sends a girl to take the SATs for Serena.
Because he has also sent a boy to take the SATs for him.
But I also liked when Dan was talking to Serena, he was like confronting Serena about it. And he says some 5 foot nothing redhead girl. But I heard this 5 foot nothing redhead girl. And I was like, whoa, Dan. I was like, but Dan is also pretty the worst here too.
Well, he just will not let her talk to him tomorrow.
He's spending too much time with Vanessa. It's where it's rubbing off on him.
But she's just like, they get into a classic. Chuck and Serena did not collaborate on the lie where like Chuck says she has food poisoning and she's like, oh yeah, my migraine's all better. And because even Blair later is like, how's your food poisoning migraine?
Well, because that's another thing. That's something I love, though. Blair and Dan are in cahoots in this episode.
Because they're both worried about Serena.
Yeah, but it's like she genuinely, Blair is like, it's nice. I don't know. I like it.
But that's the thing that I love about whether it's the next episode or the episode after. My favorite part is that like also then Blair ices Dan out.
Mm-hmm.
Once everyone knows about it, it's the inner circle only. And that's the episode I can't wait for.
It might be the next one. I don't remember.
I don't remember how many there are after that to like wrap up.
So
yeah.
So we end on a bit of a cliffhanger there. Oh, well, no. Fucking Georgina figures out who Dan is.
Because Serena gave Georgina last name and zip code. You think we cannot find a Dan Humphrey in Williamsburg, Brooklyn?
I don't know. It feels like you can't swing a dead cat without running into a damn Humphrey. And well, he was probably the 6th one that day that she careened into.
That she did this, with the dog.
With her dog named George. I see ya. I see ya. But yeah, so she's pretending to be a girl named Sarah. Yeah. And I think it goes on longer than it needs to.
I feel like actually, Dan, if I'm remembering correctly, Dan does not realize that Sarah is not Sarah until the finale of this season.
So buckle up.
Yep.
I'll
XOXO.
never tell. You know you love love me. XOXO. Gossip Girl.